Welcome to Armchair Anonymous. I'm Dan Rather. I'm joined by Mrs. Mouse.
This one is a triggering one.
Oh my God. Pranks gone wrong.
Because
some of these pranks, they really go off the rails.
They do. And I hate pranks so much.
Yes.
That kind of when it's going wrong for people,
you think what you reaped what you sowed?
A little.
Sure. It's like you wanted to dance with the devil, and now he's dipping you.
Yeah. And look, risk reward, okay?
Although, look, there's a lot of legendary ones.
What's the best one you've heard?
A famous friend of mine gets invited to an extremely famous person's house in Italy. And I don't know if it's a wedding or whatever it is, but there's a ton of guests. And my friend has arrived a couple days after most people. And he's in the pool. Mm-hmm. And the host, the very famous host, says, "Do you think you could beat the back and forth swimming record, underwater, hold your breath record?"
Oh, okay.
And my friend said, "Well, what is it?" And he said, "It's 2 laps." And my friend's like, "I think I could beat that." And he's like, "I don't think you can, but if you want to give it a shot, fine." So my friend does it. He almost kills himself.
Oh my God.
He goes 2.5 laps, and when he comes out of the water, nobody's there.
Oh my God.
And there were like 30 people by the pool. And the second he went under, the host was like, "Everyone go inside. Everyone just react." So he came up all triumphant that he's got the new record, and there's nobody there. I think that's pretty fucking funny.
Also, Kimmel has pranked you with the coffee pot.
Yes.
He's a prankster.
He is a prankster. By the way, that's who it happened to.
Oh, no way. My God.
Yes.
See, if you're a prankster, you're going to get pranked. This is part of it. It's like, I want nothing to do.
Right. You live by the sword, die by the sword.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, please enjoy Pranks Gone Wrong.
Hard times come and go. Good times, take them slow. My life, I had them both. Remember one thing, you gotta know, I'ma keep on shining.
Hello.
Hello, Jess. Are we using your real name?
Yes, we are.
You're camping, it seems. You're in a tent.
I put up this nice sheet behind me. My computer's in like a little alcove of my room, so I just tried to seal it off.
Perfect.
I love the effort. Where are you at?
I'm in central New York. I'm in a little antique town called Bouckville.
Oh, I love antiques.
Me too. That's all that we're known for.
And are you working professionally with the antiques?
No, I work at a jewelry store, but I'm actually on maternity leave right now.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, now you were a part of a prank that went wrong.
Yes.
We cannot wait to hear. Please tell us what happened.
Okay, so the subject of the story is my best friend, Becca. She's a 4'11" baby angel. I love her so much.
Oh, I would like her too. I like minis.
She's also very gullible and so super easy to mess with, which I can relate to. That's usually my position in the world. So I went to college with Becca and our other good friend, Olivia. And I mentioned Becca's stature before because I used to ask her to step on my back to crack it all the time.
Oh, sure. I was a master back cracker.
A designated back cracker.
I had to walk on so many backs.
DBC.
It's just the best. The weight of a human cracking your back. There's nothing better. Anyway, it was around Halloween time when we were grocery shopping.
What age were you guys?
I was probably 18 at the time.
Okay. And Becca was 35?
Yeah, she was old enough to be my mother. We were all about 18. I saw a tube of fake blood in the grocery store, and I got this idea that I cooked up with our friend Olivia and recruited her to help me out with it. To be honest, Olivia and I had no business putting on a prank like this. We're too goofy. It was not going to work. And I got the blood just thinking I'll have it, but I know that we're going to mess up immediately. When the time was right, I asked Becca to step on my back.
Oh,
this is great.
Obviously, normally you start around the lower spine area.
Okay.
But I was asking her to go up and up and up until she was basically at my neck. And at this point, I had the tube of blood in my sleeve. And I was like, okay, if we don't mess anything up, it's there. I'm going to press down on it and just stop talking.
Oh. Oh my God.
And wait, act like it came out of your mouth?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful.
That's so mean.
It's so mean. And it's also very out of character for me. I don't think I'm a mean person. But hey, I just thought I would shoot my shot.
Sure.
College is a time for experimenting.
So Olivia's job was going to be to say, oh my God, Jess, are you okay? Is that blood?
Oh.
And she did. And everything went beautifully. And Becca thought that she broke my neck and killed me.
Oh my God.
This is a very
This
dark
is so
prank. I really like
mean.
it.
Oh God.
It's really bad. She immediately started crying and hyperventilating.
Oh, no.
I didn't let it go on too long. And then I got up and I was like, it's fake.
Oh.
She was not good for a while.
Oh no.
What's a while? What's the
Like
time
today.
horizon of a while?
A good couple weeks.
She was mad at you?
She wasn't mad. She's such an
She was
angel.
hurt that she had killed her friend.
Oh.
Exactly. She was hurt that I was dead.
And that she had killed you.
But then a new lease on life. She's not a murderer. I'm fine.
Right. You would think she'd be elated with that news.
After that, I tried to insert an apology into every conversation when it didn't belong. I'd be like, so do you want to go to Mills for lunch? And I'm sorry about that stepping on my back thing. Honestly, she applauded it. She was like, you guys did a great job, like through tears.
So supportive.
She's crying.
Yeah.
She's the best.
I would kill to have her walk on my back right now.
Oh, me too. I realized when I was remembering the story that I haven't asked her to do it since. What is the statute of limitations?
I think you sacrificed the back walking for the prank, unfortunately.
Coming from a professional Monica, I'm never going to ask again.
Yeah, well, it's
Have you ever
okay.
had anyone walk on your back?
No.
Neither the children or anything?
I don't think so.
Oh, I love getting them up there tap dancing around my back.
Oh,
Feels so
my
good. That's a reason in and of itself to have children, is to get little people to walk on your
Or
back.
play with your hair.
Yeah, they're not doing a ton of that with me.
You haven't trained them well enough. You have to
Apparently
get them when
not.
they're young. I was trying when they were really little. to
How
always play
much
with my
hair play have you gotten from them? Minimal, right?
Yeah.
Here and there? Just a little bit?
Barely.
Put some ketchup in your hair after they do it. Tell them that you fractured your skull.
We're still best friends. I'm in her wedding next month.
I wonder if she, after that, ruled out walking on anyone's back permanently.
Yes,
like
100%.
I'm never doing it again, because just the notion that I had killed the
Because
person.
what if?
Yes,
Yeah,
you
no.
realize how reckless you're being with someone's spinal column.
I think anyone who's listening to this will also never walk on
You
anyone's
think it'll put an end to back walking altogether?
altogether.
I got a little nervous, honestly, when I was like closer to my neck. What if something actually...
Well, to be honest, because this was prank gone wrong, I was
Yeah,
expecting
same.
perhaps
Like an
a
actual
broken
broken-
lumbar. Well, I guess it'd be a cervical, but yeah. Oof. Oh, well, Jess, what a delightful story. And I'm glad you guys stuck together through it.
Me too. So basically where we went wrong is that everything went perfectly right, and we emotionally scarred our friend. I appreciate you guys taking the time.
Oh, Jess, it's so
Yeah.
nice to
So
talk to
nice
you.
to
I can
meet
tell
you.
you're the sweetest person, and I'm delighted I got to meet you.
Oh, this is so cool. I love you guys so much. It's such a cool way for fans to get to interact with you.
Well, listen, I'm prone to be driving Big Brown through all parts of this great country. So if you ever see that Flying Waylon Jennings logo on back, flag us down.
I could show you my 1966 Chrysler 300.
Oh, I would
Ooh.
love one of those. That's a big girl.
Yes, she's like a boat to drive, but I honestly love it more than a small car. It's so fun.
It is. Well, Jess, so nice meeting you. Thanks for telling us that story.
You too. Thank you guys so much.
All right, be
Bye.
well.
Bye.
Hello?
Hello, hello. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, which is
Yes.
very rare, Kyle. Generally, we have to weed through some connection issues and some mic issues, so we're delighted to hear your voice.
I'm fired up. The Wi-Fi router went down 30 minutes ago for the first time ever, so that was like a go figure kind of moment.
Of course it
Yes.
did. Now, what do you think, Monica? Kyle and I have the exact same hair and beard combination currently.
Close.
Really
Yeah.
close. He's got it tight on the sides and a little longer on the chinny
Uh-huh.
chin chin. man.
We're pretty close to the same height, Dax. I'm 6'3". You're right there, right?
Well, it depends what mood I'm in. I'm either just under it or I'm at it. Yeah.
We got some things jiving.
Would you describe yourself as having a medium build as I do?
Yeah. I've worked my way down to just under 220 over the last few months.
Okay, great. From a peak of what?
I was knocking on 250's door.
There we go.
Wow.
Yeah, 250 Club.
Yeah, I was right there.
Where are you
where
in
do you
the
live?
country?
I am in Bountiful, Utah.
Just drove through.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, days ago, making my way home from Jackson Hole.
Oh, sweet.
Okay, so Kyle, you are part of a prank that went wrong. We can't wait to hear how.
Yeah, it occurred in this very city years ago. This was my high school days, specifically the summer between my sophomore and junior year.
Very rascally period for young men.
Dialed in, we got the license. I had a 86 Jeep Wrangler. Top was off, doors were off.
wow.
Chick magnet. Come on, let's be honest.
Tank tops were completely flowing, right? So we were kind of in a little bit of like a prank streak. It was just after 4th of July. So during the 4th of July period, you're doing like sparkler bombs or Piccolo Pete bombs or different things like that.
You ever do the Drano aluminum foil bomb?
No.
Okay, well, I won't go any further so I'm not liable
Yeah,
to anyone.
we're not
Okay.
in the business
All
of
right.
teaching people how to make
Okay.
bombs.
That's the last thing anybody wants. So from there, I was the founder of this idea. There was 5 of us, me and 4 buddies, and we're like, you know what we should do tonight that would be exhilarating is we should open some fire hydrants.
Oh,
Sure.
Because naturally that's an exciting thing to do. So the bulk of the city is just kind of built right into the foothills of the mountain. And so where we decided to open a few fire hydrants was at the very top of the hill. There was a new housing development going in where no homes were built, but the infrastructure was in. All the curb, gutter, fire hydrants was there. So it seemed like a pretty low risk.
No witnesses.
Totally. So we crack a couple open.
Really quick, what wrench are you using? You just get a big pipe wrench or do you get one of those enormous crescent wrenches?
It was a big pipe wrench.
Okay. Dad's pipe wrench, probably?
Yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately. He was an accomplice, whether he knew it or not. We opened a couple fire hydrants. They go off. We are just thrilled with the amount of water that's coming out of them. It's everything we'd hoped to be.
Because there's a few ways these things can go off, no? Or there's just the one that shoots forward. There's also, I see it coming up the top sometimes.
All sides of a fire hydrant are essentially the opening. And so you can open any side. What you see on the top is actually the valve. So the first thing is you put your wrench on the side, that opens the hydrant. Then you put your wrench on the top and you twist the top, and that's essentially the on valve.
Roger. That makes a lot of sense.
The more you twist it on, the more the valve is opened up, the more the water's coming out. So quite a bit of water.
Is anyone getting in the big stream? I'm driving you crazy right now, aren't I?
I just want to hear it.
I'm sorry. I'm just thinking about doing this.
I
It
know.
sounds so fun.
The
yeah.
logistics are really getting you. But
Well, you got that image of like DJ Jazzy Jeff pop off a fire plug just for old time's sake. People dancing
Sure.
in the fire. You know, it's been in movies.
Sure.
It's very romantic. Rich history.
So we drive away. We come back an hour later. They're turned off. In my 16-year-old mind, I'm thinking, surely anytime a fire hydrant is opened, a light on a panel board is going off somewhere saying a fire hydrant's open, a button is pushed, and that fire hydrant is turned off.
That's an interesting
advanced,
conclusion.
yeah.
But
FYI, that's not how it works.
yeah.
So we do that, and we're like, well, that's great. We turn them on. Somehow they're turned off. This is as good as it gets.
I like that you're also returning to the scene of the crime, which is like
Sure.
rule number 1 not to do.
We decide to do one more, but we want someone to be able to see and enjoy what we're doing.
Yes, of course. You need fans.
Yeah, exactly. We worked our way a little bit just further down the hill into the residential neighborhood that existed on the side of the hill. And we found kind of a perfect road because it was in the middle of the neighborhood, but it was kind of this elbow-shaped road that had no homes built on it yet. So it's like near the population, but no homes on it. This is ideal from a prank standpoint. So we cracked that one open. It runs, and we return to the scene about an hour later. The water's still running. And I'm thinking, oh, someone hasn't pressed the button yet
Right.
to turn this off. At this point, it's well after midnight. It's time to call it a day. The water is flowing, but going into the gutter, going into the catch drain. We go home. The next morning, we had an early morning football practice. And so we went to football practice. We were talking about the previous night's shenanigans. And then we were like, oh, we should go drive up there and check all that out. And so we're in the Jeep. Doors are off. Energy's high.
tank top.
Dicks are hard.
Maximum flow. So we go to turn right onto this street, and it's police taped off.
Oh.
instantly kind of get that initial pit in the stomach, like that is way too freaking coincidental. So we turn onto what would be kind of a parallel running street, but just a block down the hill. And as we turn on that street, there's just cars parked bumper to bumper. The whole neighborhood is at this house. It's a nice house. They are all loading flood-damaged furniture out of the daylight basement. And the entire property has like 6 to 8 inches of mud everywhere. I mean, there are neighbors out there with snow shovels shoveling mud.
Oh my God.
You're up against legal troubles now in your mind, right?
It's massive. There's a lot of damage. Essentially, no one pressed the button because that button didn't exist.
Yes.
And that water ran all night long. It was 1.5 million gallons of water.
What?
I even fact-checked this a couple weeks ago. A buddy and I were talking about it, and I found the article in the news that confirmed the water quantity. It put the city on irrigation reserve for the rest of the summer. People were only allowed to water their lawns during certain hours.
Goodness.
Oh my God.
The storm drain system under the road that normally collects water runoff and deposits it where it should be going, that failed. So the water was going underneath the road, re-emerging in this kind of natural ravine that flowed right into these people's backyard.
Oh my God.
Because it took all the dirt and the soil from underneath the road, where that road used to be that the fire hydrant was on, is now a 150-foot long, 15-foot deep, just collapsed road. It looked like an earthquake fault line had just ripped the road in half.
Oh my God.
My friends and I are just sitting on the curb assessing the chaos while like Chopper 5 gets the overhead view for like the 5 o'clock news that night. We're sick. We're so screwed.
Yes.
We do what we think is logically the best thing to do at that time, which is pretend to be concerned neighbors and just start pitching into the relief efforts.
This is the famous story of helping someone find their wallet when you've stolen it.
Oh, sure.
Yes.
At one point, my buddy and I were sent by the homeowner or friend of the homeowner. I just remember me and my buddy were asked to go take a vehicle and go to the rent-a-center to pick up a couple more wet vacs. And we're just driving with each other, looking at each other like, are you kidding me right now? What are we doing?
This is a lot
Are
for
you
a
calling us from
17-year-old.
jail?
Yeah.
Debtor's prison.
I instantly went into, this is hundreds of thousands of dollars of damage.
Can I ask a quick question? We might not want to answer this, but famously in Michigan, there were commercials promoting the Church of Latter-day Saints. And the commercials were a young boy would get in his dad's pickup truck in the driveway, and he was monkeying around with the truck, and he got it in gear, and he drove it down the driveway on accident and crashed it. And he comes in and he tells his father, I drove the truck and crashed it. And his father says, I'm so proud of you for telling me. And that was the commercial for Church of Latter-day Saints. So in my mind, the Mormons love an apology. And as long as you own your shit, you're good to go. Now, A, are you Mormon? B, that community has to be heavily Mormon. C, does any of that play into this fire hydrant debacle?
I would say yes to all three to a degree. So here's the thing. We had moved to Utah a year previous. I was born and raised in Spokane, Washington. We had moved to Utah with my dad's job, and we were in the process of building a home. And my immediate thought as a 16-year-old was just, this is an unbelievable house. This is hundreds of $1,000s damage. And I turned to my buddies, I'm like, we cannot go down for this. In my mind, we will not have a home to live in.
You owe someone a house.
Yes. So I'm committed to being like, we're not getting caught. But because we were very open about what we were up to the previous night, there were quite a few leaks to plug.
Sure.
Yes.
And so we spent some time kind of trying to plug those as much as we could. And needless to say, for 3 days, the article I even found the other day, there was a reward out for any tips leading to our arrest. It was on the news multiple days in a row.
How stressed were those 3 days?
I was physically sick. No appetite, wasn't sleeping at night. On Sunday, I went to probably the longest session of church I'd been to in my life.
Yes. Your soul was on fire.
Yeah. So I come back. My mother and siblings were out of town. They were up in Spokane, actually. And so it was just my dad and I there. And he was about to start barbecuing some food. And he said, hey, why don't you call my friend so-and-so, see if he wants to come over for dinner. He was an accomplice in this. And I called him and I said, hey, dude, what's going on? And all he responded was, they know. And I'm like, what do you mean they know? He It's like, I just got back from the police department.
No.
And so I hang up on him. I grab what kids wouldn't understand today is like our caller ID box, right? Connected to the phone. And I start scrolling through the caller ID box, and Bountiful PD is called like 5 times.
Oh, you're dead.
At this point, it's done, right? I make the long walk down the hall to the kitchen, and I just spring the news on him. I said, Dad, have you been watching the news recently? And he's like, no, I haven't. I'm like, well, I've made a huge mistake. There's a problem.
God.
Yeah.
I told him what happened, and he didn't thank me. By the way.
A little different than the commercial.
Yeah, I remember his response saying, take me and show me what you did.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
And I still to this day vividly remember sitting in the passenger seat of our Jeep Cherokee, staring out the windshield as my dad stood on the edge of this cliff where a road used to be.
My God.
When you're the kid, you think your dad's going to know how to handle this. But guess what? Dad has no clue how to fucking handle this either.
No. Yeah, as a parent now, I'm completely clueless with the most minor things.
Yes.
Let alone some catastrophic.
Your dad was probably sitting on the edge of that going, what on earth am I supposed to do about this?
It was wild. So my friend, the same one who went to the police department, he had turned us in. His mom saw us the day after, and she knew.
She knew.
And she spent about 48 hours just all over him. She broke him down. And ultimately, that probably helped us out. The fact that we came forward, albeit not unanimously, but we came forward.
Yes,
Right.
yes. And helped with the rebuild project, which is so weird.
The house that was damaged, we all individually apologized. I wrote a letter, hand delivered it to them, and then we all collectively went to their house because all their HVAC was run under slab in their basement. Their HVAC ducts were filled with mud and water.
Oh.
And so we spent some time there chipping away all the concrete, pulling the HVAC ducts out, digging new trenches. All the while, she was bringing us like lemonade and refreshments, thanking us for helping.
Oh, God.
Oh, killing you with humanity.
They were unbelievable. And ultimately, when we went to a court-ordered mediation with all the victims involved, the city was the only representative who showed up. We ended up coming to an agreement of a small fine and each doing about 200 hours of community service.
Oh,
Wow.
And did the coach try to like kick you guys off the team or anything? It feels like in a smaller town, you might get pressured.
I think what was clear to everyone was that we're obviously not like civil engineer masterminds that could have foreseen this much damage being done. And so I think there was quite a bit of grace involved there from all parties, just knowing that wasn't the intent, right?
And you were like, it's somebody else's fault who didn't press the button. There's a button, I know.
Not to mention, why aren't these storm drains working? They should be able to handle that amount of 1.5 million gallons.
I've taken responsibility, but I would like to identify the button pusher immediately and make sure there's some level of accountability.
That they're drinking coffee
Some
throughout their
repercussions
shift
for
because
him.
clearly they had fallen asleep when this thing was going on.
You've got some holes in your program, I'm just saying.
Oh, Kyle, I don't think there's any chance we'll hear a story that is
That's
that
intense.
catastrophic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless there's a death coming our way.
Oh, God.
Pretty intense and shaped my decision-making for the rest of my teenage years.
That's the best thing you can do to a kid that's fucked up is be really nice to him. It just kills him.
Crushes you.
Well, Kyle, thanks so much for
Yeah.
that barn burner of a story.
My pleasure. Just so excited to talk to you guys. Love both of you, and it's an honor to talk to you.
Thank you so
thank
much.
you.
Great meeting you, Kyle.
Bye.
Take care.
Thanks. See you later.
Hello.
Oh, cool sweatshirt.
Does it say Detroit? I can only see the top.
Yes.
Oh, it does.
I did it for you. My boyfriend works for this company. As soon as I found out I was doing this, I was like, you got to get me a Detroit.
Are you in Michigan?
No, I'm in Ohio, but we lived in LA for many years, moved here when he got this job.
Oh, where in Ohio are you?
We're in Columbus.
Of the many Ohio destinations, that's a good one.
Every time I tell someone that we moved from LA, they're like, what a big change. What made you move? I love the Midwest.
Oh, good. Cedar Point yet? Have you been to Cedar Point?
No, but I want to go.
Don't miss it this summer.
I will go.
You were a part of a prank that went wrong.
Yes. I pulled this prank when I was a freshman in college on my mom.
Mm.
So there's some pieces to this story.
Create the whole world for us.
Okay, world building. First of all, I'm named after my mom's mom. My name's Alice, by the way, but I go by AG. Oh, another piece I wanted to tell you real quick before I get in the story.
Yeah.
My last name is Cherry.
Oh, my
Get
gosh.
out of here.
No way.
You need to be nominated president or something
You
for
were
sure.
born in.
I was was born to be an armchair. Anyways, so named after my mom's mom, who was a huge prankster.
Grandma Alice was a handful.
Yes. She would bring rubber cockroaches to our house when we were kids, hide them in our pillows. None of her pranks went wrong. They all went wrong. I'm named after her, so I have this legacy to live up to. She passed away like 2 years before this prank took place. So I'm like really wanting to carry on her legacy. So that's number one. Number two, freshman in college, my mom is living alone less than a mile from my freshman dorm.
Oh, geez.
Okay.
She was not supposed to be this close. I went to the University of South Carolina, where she went as well, which is important to the story. When I picked USC, I picked it because she went there, but also it was supposed to be 9 hours from my family.
Oh.
Long story short, it ended up like a mile away. I had this chip on my shoulder. I was like, I don't want to be independent. My dad's in the Air Force. He's overseas. So she is living alone.
Oh, boy.
I'm also a runner. And I, not wanting to show any homesickness, not wanting to admit that I was actually kind of happy that she was close.
Mm-hmm.
She's a teacher, so her working hours very predictable. And I'm like, oh, I could just do my run route by the townhouse that she's renting, pop in without her knowing, snuggle my dog, run back to campus. No one will know. Everyone will think I'm super independent, and it's great. I start doing this. I do it all through September of my freshman year. It's a great homesickness fix. So then October comes around and it's Halloween. It's a spooky time. And I'm like, okay, this is a really good setup for a really epic prank. And the part I didn't tell you and why it's important that she went to USC is the townhouse she rented was on a site that used to be a mental institution.
Oh, God.
Oh, we love this. Every town has this.
Yes. When she was a student at USC, she was a part of this program that did like pen pals with patients across the state.
Oh, wow.
And she had a pen pal at the mental institution that passed away while she was a student, and he passed away at the mental institution.
Oh, my.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
That's the setup. So when she did this townhouse, I don't think she knew that, but we had this running joke. We were like, it's going to be haunted.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. The atrocities that have happened.
Exactly. So I'm there one day, I'm snuggling with my dog, and I'm like, I could make her think that this place is haunted. This is genius. I see no wrongs in this. This is hilarious. So phase one has to be subtle, right? Because you want it to like get into her head, have her start to think maybe something is off, but you can't like hit her with anything big.
Right. You can't scare off the mark.
I just swapped her throw pillows and I moved the curtains from like the left to the right side.
Wonderful.
Okay, great.
Come back 3 days later, I do the same thing. I swap the pillows, I move the curtains.
Oh.
And I'm like, she could easily just think she's going crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Phase one, complete. No one says anything. I'm not saying anything to anyone. Phase two, I come in and I'm like, okay, got to ramp it up a little bit. So I do the pillows, I do the curtains, I move a candle from the living room into her bedroom. I move like plates around. Again, subtle enough that like maybe she's going crazy, but she's going to start getting worried. I do that twice, week 2. Week 3, I swap the pillows, I do the curtains, I move things around. And you know, in horror films, like Paranormal Activity, drawers will like open by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So I open all the drawers, I open cabinets.
Oh, gosh.
I opened doors that weren't open before. And I'm like, this is very obvious that she didn't do this and just forget.
Yeah.
And it's ghost-like. I'm like, this is great.
Or ransack-like. But yes,
Well,
yes,
exactly.
yes.
I didn't think about that. I was so in the ghost mindset.
Confirmation bias.
Yeah, thinking about paranormal. So I'm like, this is so clearly a ghost and it's so hilarious. And then I come back week 4 and I'm kind of getting bummed because like she hasn't said anything and she's a very vocal person. She hasn't expressed that she thinks she's going crazy. She hasn't expressed that she thinks it might be haunted. And I'm like, I'm not living up to my grandma's legacy. I'm not carrying it on. So week 4, I go and I'm like, I got to do something real freaky.
Oh, no.
In a horror film, a ghost targets one person. And a lot of the movie ends up being that person trying to convince everyone else that they're being targeted. So I go around the entire townhouse and every photo that has her in it, I slam it.
No, this is so scary and mean and bad. Oh,
I tell
God.
this story. I'm like, either you're going to think I'm a psychopath or there's no like in between. So I slam all those photos down, even on the fridge, every photo that had her in it. I took the magnet off, let the photo fall, put the magnet back,
Oh.
took photos off the wall, like everything. And I'm still thinking, this is hilarious. This is just a joke. It's funny. Again, she says nothing. And I'm like, does she think an earthquake hit? Like, what is she thinking is happening
Yeah, you're
right
now
now?
mad at the victim.
Now I'm mad. And it ended up kind of perfect because it's 2 days before Halloween now. I go back. Again, I do all the things I've said before. I took an expo marker and on the mirrors, I wrote, "Get out." This is so clearly a ghost. This is so good.
So bad.
I leave and I'm so giddy. I'm like, this is hilarious. So I go back to campus. I know she's going to be home at 4 p.m. I'm like waiting around. She calls me at 5 p.m. and I'm like, yes, I'm going to get all the glory here. Yeah. And she calls me at 5 p.m. and she goes, hey, AG, I didn't want to scare you, but for the last month, someone's been targeting me, breaking into the townhouse. I've been really scared. Your dad is really scared. We talked to the townhouse office and they have increased security around here.
God.
There was a really bad attack today.
Attack!
A cop is here and he searched the entire townhouse. The person is not here anymore. They're changing the locks and they've added a camera so that we can catch this guy. So don't be scared. I just wanted you to know what was going on. And I had that moment of realization of like, oh, I took it a little too far.
Yes, you got cops involved now.
My dad's like overseas, not sleeping, thinking like his wife is being targeted.
Yes. Oh my God.
I was like, mama. I was like, it's been me this whole time. And I remember it feeling like such a long silence because I was like sitting there and I just went, I'm really sorry. And she said, AG, get ready. I'm coming to pick you up. And hung up the phone. And that's all she said. She picks me up. It's like a silent car ride, except me just like, I'm sorry. Like, I thought it was going to be really funny.
Grandma Alice.
Yeah. I get there and she's like, I already told them to stop changing the locks, but you have to go tell the cops what you did. And you have to go tell the front office what you did. So I had to tell this cop like it was all a joke. And he just went, all right. And then I had to go to the office and I'll never forget. I told them the whole story and they just looked at me. And I was like, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean for it to get this bad or you to like have to hire extra help. And they just said absolutely nothing.
Because everyone was really scared.
Someone's coming in over and over again. They're so comfortable to enter and leave and enter. Ooh.
She had alerted them from the very first time that I had gone in.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
Oh, boy.
So an entire month of her being terrified and not sleeping.
Oh, man.
Oh, Lord. Your poor mother. Oh,
I know. And she's like the sweetest person ever. And I just made her terrified for a month. But I made my grandma proud.
Yeah,
well,
you
that's right. She was smiling from up above.
from below.
At her own daughter being terrified.
She would have loved it. She would have loved it.
Oh, Alice. Well, that's woo.
Doozy.
Yeah. Boy, oh boy.
Real quick, you guys have played a huge role in me and my boyfriend's relationship. Our first date was going to be seeing you guys in Pasadena before it got canceled. But then we saw you with Ike Barinholtz in LA.
Oh.
He's here. And so I wore Detroit for you, Dax.
Uh-huh. And he's got a Monica surprise.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love it.
Hi.
Oh, look at this.
You guys are gorgeous.
Yeah, you
What a
are.
couple. Yeah. Really
Yes,
good looking.
this is too much, really.
Yeah.
I am just blushing so big.
You kind of look like you could be Charlie's brother.
Yeah. Perfect 10 Charlie.
Yeah.
You know, the shirt comes off. I'm not Charlie. I'll take any bit of Charlie I can get.
You can be perfect 9 Charlie.
I like that. I'll go with that. And Dax, you should know I love your McConaughey impression. I think you do a good job with that.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's not universally loved, but I'm glad to hear that someone's enjoying it. Well, it's great meeting you
Yes.
guys. Truly.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
Get to Cedar Point. Say it out loud. Committed. You got to go.
We're going to
Committed.
Cedar Point.
All right. Nice meeting you guys. Take
Bye.
care.
Have a good
Nice
day.
meeting you.
Bye.
Bye.
Armcherries are so attractive.
I know.
All of them.
I'm so jealous of everyone.
Me too.
Also, that was crazy.
She put that mom through hell.
They must have thought her mom was crazy when she reported pillows
The
and
pillows,
curtains.
of course.
The things
They were
police have to
gaslighting
go
her.
through.
And lucky she didn't turn to barbiturates or something and get through it.
All right, here's Danielle.
Is this your friend?
Yeah, Vipes. It's her nickname.
Hello.
Hey guys, how are you?
Wonderful. We
Good.
can hear you and you can hear us. You have a muskox or is that a longhorn? What is that behind you?
It's a longhorn.
A longhorn. And we understand that you know Wobby Wob.
Yeah.
I do know Rob. Is he around?
He
Yes.
is. He's sitting over at his control desk.
What's up, Rob?
Hello.
We don't like when he's in frame because he's so cute and we feel less than. So we keep him in the corner.
Oh, I haven't seen him in years. It's been a long time. We've been friends for, gosh, probably like over 15 years at this point.
And your nickname is Vipes?
Yeah, so that goes back to like college years.
Yeah, how do you get a nickname Vipes?
I was like really into video games when I was in college and high school and stuff. And I would play like Tony Hawk. I mean, who didn't?
Okay.
I wanted to come up with like a badass name for my player. So I thought, ooh, Alex Viper would sound like really badass.
Sure.
My friends just started calling me Vipes after that. So the name just kind of stuck. People still call me that.
One quick question. Is that a Bill Murray throw pillow?
Yes, it is Bill Murray.
The flightless bird artwork was inspired
Based
by
off
that
of
exact picture.
Oh, get out.
Yes. Okay,
Okay,
Danielle,
pranks.
you have a prank that went wrong. Please tell us about it.
I do. So I'm a New Jersey girl. I was the graduating class of 2000. So I went to high school at Pascack Hills High. We were the Pascack Hills Cowboys. Within my 4 years of being there had never been any type of senior prank. I always kind of had like a little mischievous streak about me. And so I was like, well, shit. I mean, it's like go big or go home. We have to leave our mark. So let's do something. I knew I wanted it to be fun. I knew I wanted it to be like kind of harmless and nothing gruesome that would cause destruction or anything. And there was those 25 cent machines that like you'd crank and they had stickers, tattoos, toys. Well, I would always get bouncy balls. That was like my thing. And I had like a little collection.
You're like, I'm quirky.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Whatever. I was like, oh man, what if we got thousands of bouncy balls and let them loose all at once in the school? Like it would be mayhem.
Yeah.
And so I ran the idea by Pete and Joe and they loved it. So it was like, game on, got to figure out how to make this happen.
It's very PG, very Nickelodeon, very fun.
Exactly. The first step was like, well, how are we going to get all the bouncy balls? We have to raise money for it. So we went around to like all the seniors that we knew and just pitched them the idea. And we were like, if you want to donate money, you'll get a chance to be in the prank. We raised about $188. Back in 2000, $188 was able to get you 5,200 bouncy balls.
Wow.
That's a lot. Really? Those are very affordable.
So I got them from this party catalog called Oriental Trading.
Oh, yes. So many party favors and decorations and stuff from Oriental Trading.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. And shout out to my mom, Donna. You know, I told her what the prank was going to be and she gave me her credit card.
Wow.
Oh.
That was pretty awesome. We set a date. It was May 25th, 2000. The idea was that I would get to school early that morning and I would distribute all the bouncy balls out of the trunk of my car. Once first period ended, we would all be out in the hallways. And then once the underclassmen came into the hallways, like we would all just throw the balls and it would just be mayhem. The piece that was missing was, well, how are we going to signal to all the seniors that are in all different classrooms? When is it time to get to your area? I forget whose idea it was, maybe Joe's, but he's like, hey, how about we get Joanna, who does the morning announcements, to help us out? So we told Joanna about the idea and she loved it. And she's like, I'm in.
Okay, collusion.
Yeah. And so we needed like a code name. So our friend came up with the name Operation Nerf. So it's the day of the prank. The energy is apparent. There's a lot of chatter. There's a lot of excitement. The teachers are kind of like, what's going on?
Yeah, they can feel it.
As I left homeroom, I was walking to my first period class and I actually passed by one of my favorite teachers and he goes, Danielle. And I turn to him and he just looks at me. He holds up a bouncy ball and he winks his eye. And then he like gives me like a thumbs up.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, great.
I was feeling really good about it. So I'm in first period. It's like a 50-minute class and this thing is just like dragging on forever. I'm like, God, I hope this goes off without a hitch. Finally, I hear the crackle over the loudspeaker and Joanna gets on and like as clear as day, she goes, attention all seniors, Operation Nerf is about to commence. Report to your stationed areas.
Oh my goodness. This is right out loud.
Yeah, they're
We're not
not
trying
even-
to hide this. Yeah.
And then we hear the bell ring for first period to end. All of the underclassmen filter out into the hallways and we just unleash the bouncy balls. They're ricocheting off the lockers and the windows and the ceiling, and the underclassmen and the teachers are getting into it. They're picking up bouncy balls and they're throwing them all over the place.
This is a prank gone perfectly
Yeah.
thus far.
So far. The prank goes off without a hitch. The sense of camaraderie and accomplishment between all the seniors was just awesome. And we help clean up and then we go back to our normal day. Sometime between, I want to say second and third period, maybe, I'm walking in the hallway to my next class and someone comes up to me and they're like, yo, Joanne is being detained in Manny's office. Manny was our principal. And they're like, and they're threatening to call her college that she got into.
Oh.
They're threatening to not let her walk at graduation. They're threatening to not let her go to prom.
Oh, my Lord. Come on, Manny.
Throughout that morning, I'm getting wind that seniors are outside of his office protesting. There's about maybe 40, 45 kids at this point. And they're all like, let Joanna out, let Joanna out, throwing bouncy balls at the window and everything.
Jeez, oh
That's
boy.
going to help.
The fire alarm goes off.
Uh-oh, you've started a riot.
The whole school evacuates. The fire fire trucks come, they scope out the school, everything's clear, so they get everyone inside. Not 5 minutes later, the fire alarm goes off a second time.
Oh boy. Okay.
And at this point, I was like, all right, someone's definitely like fucking with us and pulling the fire alarm. So the entire school evacuates once again. The fire trucks come.
Oh.
It's like getting rowdy at this point.
Yeah.
People are, throwing the bouncy balls and everything.
In a prison movie, right now the mattresses are being lit on fire.
Yeah,
That's what stage we're
for
at.
sure.
Yeah.
It's starting to unravel,
Yes.
quite rapidly.
You realize how tenuous the social contract is when you throw some bouncy balls down the hallway.
Totally. They eventually get everyone inside and we go back to our classes. It's 5th period now. It's my lunch period. As a senior, I have the privilege to leave campus. I'm driving back to the school. And as the school starts to come into view, I see everyone outside again. The fire trucks are back. And now there's also a news van. And an ambulance.
Uh-oh.
For whom? Manny?
So I get into the parking lot. I drive in as quickly as possible, pull into the first parking spot I see. It's not even mine. Get out, grab the first person I see. I'm like, what is going on? They turn to me. They're like, Manny had a heart attack.
No!
The principal had a heart attack.
I knew it. I knew it. The warden, he's in there and he's losing complete control of the penitentiary. Oh my God.
Was he okay?
So apparently he was instructed by his doctor to not go to school that day. He was okay. He had a clogged artery. He had to have an angioplasty.
Might have saved his life.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Weirdly enough, though, after we graduated years later, we also found out that he got his teacher's license and his superintendent license stripped from the state for sexual harassment.
Oh Lord, Manny.
Sexual harassing another teacher?
Well, that's better than a
Well, yeah,
student.
I would agree, but still bad.
On the
Still
continuum,
bad.
yeah.
Still bad. So the rest of the day, obviously, we all felt terrible. That was never our intention for anyone to get hurt or for anything to, escalate to that point.
Yeah, you didn't imagine any emergency responders involved at all.
No. We scheduled a meeting with the vice principal. I was like, I want to come clean and let you know. I was the one who organized the whole bouncy ball prank.
I didn't know about the clogged artery beforehand.
Yeah, definitely didn't know about that.
Pre-existing health conditions of Manny.
He appreciated that we came forward. He's like, I can't let this go without punishment. So he wound up suspending me and my best friend, Pete, during the last month of our senior year for a week. But so here's the kicker to the story. I gave my friend Joe my camera before the prank happened with all the bouncy balls. And I said to him, document this, take as many pictures as you can, because I'm going to be busy and I won't be able to, but I want to have, a memory of this. So the week that we were suspended, I was getting calls from the press.
Oh.
Yeah, newspapers were calling me, news stations were calling for interviews. We had an interview at my house.
Oh my God, you're granting interviews.
Yeah, some talk show called me and they wanted me to come on their talk show, but my mom was like, I think you've had enough attention.
She was probably right.
I was so bummed. But I wound up actually selling photographs of the whole prank to the press.
Oh my goodness.
What?
I made close to $700.
Whoa.
Wow.
This is a prank gone perfectly.
It is. Well, minus the heart attack.
It went right and then it went wrong and then it went rightist again.
Totally.
Oh, wow. That's nearly a whole movie.
It could be.
Wow, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Wabi, did you already know this story?
No, I did not.
So you're learning new things now as well?
Yep.
That's incredible.
Fun.
Good job, Vipes. You lived up to the nickname.
I tried my best. One of my greatest accomplishments.
Incredible. Danielle, great meeting you. And thank you so much for telling us that story.
Same, guys. You take care.
Take care.
Well, those were fun.
Yeah, outrageous. Does that make you want to prank? See, I was never, ever a prankster.
Me either.
No.
And these were making me itch a little bit.
Of course.
Because I hate pranks.
Yeah, because I don't want to be pranked.
Exactly.
So I don't prank anyway, although
You punked
I
a
did
lot
do
of
it professionally.
people.
So
You
I
did.
can't really say shit. But it wasn't my spirit. Well, I love you.
I love
and
you.
Prank you very much for doing this episode. I really appreciate it. Many pranks.
Do you want to sing a tune or something? We don't have a theme song.
Oh. Okay, great.
We don't have a theme song for this new show, so here I go. We're gonna ask some random questions, and with the help of Armcherries, we'll get some suggestions on the fly rhyme dish. On the fly rhyme dish, enjoy.